Welcome to another episode of Business Compass. My name is Charlotte Osei and I'm the host of the show. And every week on Business Compass, we coach, we mentor, and we support young Ghanaian business entrepreneurs to make sure that their businesses become bigger and better. Business Compass is proudly created and produced by Fiduciary Services Limited, and we're happy you could join us on this episode, and we look forward to embarking on a new learning journey with you today. My experts on today's show are Mrs. Petra Abba Asamoah, an author and a sales and marketing expert. Welcome, Petra.
Thank you.
Good to have you here, and congratulations on your new book.
Thank you very much.
So proud. And it's also my privilege to have Mr. Frank Abe. Frank is a manager with the Deal Advisory Service at KPMG.
Thank you, Charlotte. I'm glad to be here to contribute towards small businesses and make an impact.
Thank you. Today on the show, we are going to look at a business that was birthed out of the whole COVID pandemic. COVID has been a tough time for most people, but for some people, it's also been a time for new beginnings and for birthing new visions and new products. And so we're going to take a break, and as soon as we come back, we all get to welcome our entrepreneur for the day, Miss Hayat. So stay with us and we'll be back soon.
Hi, my name is Hayat. I'm the team lead here at Clean Break Company Limited. We are producers of Smino Detergents and as well as Smino Naturals, which is skincare products. So with the detergents, we have our liquid soap. It's multi-purpose. We have floor cleaners. We have our multi-purpose bleach as well as our antibacterial hand washing soap. We started this business last year in June, that was 2020. And this came about as we realized that there was a gap in the market for cleaning products. So that's how come we started it. And then along the line, the passion was already there, so we decided to add on skincare products made with natural products such as handmade, all handmade, and then we make them with natural products like shea butter, coconut oil, and other additives. I'm passionate about it because even with the household cleaning products, we only use the essential products that you need, the essential ingredients and chemicals that you need. So you don't have anything that is not necessary for it. And then also when it comes to the natural, like the bathing, the skincare products, we are using everything that we find here locally, all the products. And these are things that are for people who even have sensitive skin or allergies to strong scents. So everything is natural, is made handmade, and it's made from scratch. The challenges also was to do with us getting packaging material, especially for the skincare products, because you know, there were shortages in the market, and we also felt that we needed to be consistent with our branding. That was one of the main challenges we had. And then also, once we started, we also had the challenge of meeting customer demand. I think these are the two main things that we were pressed with when we started. The funding has become necessary and important because the demand, like I said, the demand is there. We are having challenges getting the consistent supply of packaging materials locally, and then when you want to import them, you need to meet a minimum order requirement. So it sort of also blocks your capital. So these are the areas where we feel like if we were able to get support, it will be helpful. I've been following the show since the inception, and I think that it has listening to other people who have been having been in business longer than I have, and then the advices that they have been given, most of the time I find that some of them are relevant to me, and I think that if I am able to meet them, they would give specific advice, technical advice and support in the areas where I may be lacking them. And then also generally, I also feel that it will also boost with my visibility. Yeah.
Welcome back, viewers. Today is our pleasure to have Miss Hayat Ashkar in the studio with us. And Hayat is here to talk about her business, Smino. Hayat, tell us about Smino. How did you start? How did you get the name? What can we do to support you?
Thank you for having me. Smino Detergent was born out of the need for household cleaning products during the pandemic and the lockdown last year in Ghana. So it was during that time that I sensed that there was a need for it, and then I had the opportunity and the time on my hands to learn it.
How did you figure out that there was a need?
Because the borders were closed, there were no products in the market. So, and then I realized that, there was this whole craze about hand washing, keeping, surfaces clean and all that. So I said, what can I do out of this? And it so happened that someone I knew was doing advertise a training for it. So in fact, I called and I said, I can't wait for the date that you have set. So I want to do a one-on-one. And she so graciously agreed to have me.
Nice, yeah.
Yes, she agreed to have me. And then that's how the journey started.
That's amazing. Why, though, did you think, because, I mean, even during the lockdown, there were soaps on the market.
Yes.
Why did you think that you needed to do this particular ones? What's different about yours?
What's different is that, I personally, and as well as my kids, we have allergies. So most of the soaps on the market, especially those produced in Ghana, have quite strong fragrances. So I used to react to them. And also, when you realize that when you wash your hands frequently throughout the day, you end up having dry hands. So I thought that what can I do to meet the same need, at the same token be more friendly on the skin, and also with the allergies aspect. So
that's actually a great gap that you're feeling. I see that you brought some of your stuff. Can you talk us through the ones in front of you, and then we'll also look at these ones? Okay,
so we have the Smino Zone, which is our version of the bleach. And then this is the hand wash, antibacterial hand wash. And then this is the liquid soap. It's actually a multi-purpose soap.
When you say multi-purpose, what can you use it for?
You can use, aside from the dishes, you can use it, I even put some, to wash my car. You can use it to wash your clothes because it will not fade.
About like a floor cleaner?
You can also use it for a floor cleaner, but I have the floor cleaner as well, which has antibacterial properties. So if you you can use it to even clean surfaces and stuff, a little bit of it, but I have the floor cleaner as well.
So you started this in June last year?
Yes, please.
You've got quite a range for a business that just started. It's impressive. And then you have these ones,
Yes.
So why is this one black and...
This is purple, orange, and brown.
Peppermint Delight.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Olive, coconut, palm, and castor oils. Shea and cocoa butter, peppermint, lye, water, and essential oils. Yeah, it's very fancy. This is the one I love, and I'll tell you why. I love this one because you have the hand sanitizer, which we all need in these days, but you also have the antibacterial hand washing soap. And like you're saying, I love this because when COVID started and you go to all the places and you have to wash your hands, I was reacting to a lot of the soaps. And some of the soaps, just the bottle looked very suspicious. So that's it's really, and I always wondered if I had to carry my own bottle of soap everywhere. But I think it's really cool to have this. You can clip on
your bag.
Yes, and you can refill it, I guess, if you have the bigger one. Yes. And then it's really handy, and you can go with it. So I love that. That's really innovative, and it's very, very, very smart thinking.
Thank you.
So how did you get the name Smino?
Smino is the nickname of my first daughter. She's Yasmin, so it's Smino is short for Yasmin.
Okay, when you were naming, what went through your mind in terms of naming a business?
Well, I had a totally different name in mind to when I started, but then in fact, I think someone said that, why don't you, I think it was, I don't really remember, but then when the person said Smino, and I said, well, why not? Because it's my first daughter's name, and then, yeah, I don't really, I think it's...
I haven't said anything. I didn't say it was good or bad. It's just that when you're naming a business, you should really think about, and it's really part of the vision, how far do you want that business to go? What kind of name recognition do you want for the business? You're building a brand. Is it a name that people easily remember?
Or identify with.
But it's most times we're very emotional and we're attached to certain names.
Right.
So your grandmother's middle name, which is not exactly the easiest middle name to pronounce, but people would choose to name businesses after that. But you really have to be strategic about it. And also think about the possible meanings of the name you're choosing beyond the meaning you are familiar with.
Actually also because Yasmin is jasmine in Arabic, so I thought the fact that we are using fragrances and oils and
that's a very long association. I'm going to go from Smino to Yasmin
to jasmine, and then remember
to
it's
fragrances. Yes, it's a flower, and then to oils. Oh, that's a journey.
So I was actually going to ask, the Smino name, what feeling did you want to elicit from customers when they hear it? And then you started talking about the fragrance. But
she's thinking of her daughter all the time. She's seeing her daughter's picture.
So is there anything else? Because then that would influence how you go about your branding journey. What emotions do you want to awaken in customers?
Jasmine the flower, but it's a long journey.
Yeah, and the good thing is the name should be very easy for people to remember, so that they,
I think, isn't Smino memorable?
I think it is.
Smino is memorable.
And I haven't heard
different.
it.
Yes, it's different.
I wanted something that would stand out and at the same token be unique
to you.
I think you achieved that. But we're just saying that when you're
Yes.
naming a business, these
Yes.
are the things you should bear
you
in
should
mind.
look out.
And also, if I go through in terms of your vision, what you sent to us, you said you want to become the preferred choice, which doesn't mean anything, by the way, for affordable, organic, and effective household products, as well as natural beauty care products within the next 3 to 5 years. Again, very loose there, giving yourself a lot of room, but we'll deal with that. But the thing was, you never said whether in Ghana or you're thinking sub-region or you're thinking Africa or you're thinking globally. Because now if you're thinking globally, for instance, then you need to really do some research on the name and how that name is going to be received in different markets. So all we're saying is just remember that naming the business should be more of a strategic decision than an emotional decision.
one. Okay.
And depending on your vision, that name should be able to carry you into all the places you want to go to. That's all we're saying. We love Yasmin. We think Smino is a beautiful name, but
okay. So great. So tell us
we're going to go on a break. So before we go on the break, you can just say one line about what you're going to be asking her when we come back, so she prepares.
Yeah, we'll just ask a bit about how you started and your capital base,
the funding.
And your funding, and how much it cost you, and how you arrive at the price of your products when we come back.
I think when we do pricing, then we'll stray into Petra's zone as well about your market segmentation or your targeted market. So viewers, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, like Frank said, we'll look at funding of the business, how she funded it, and how she intends to fund the vision ahead, and the market segmentation and the pricing. So stay with us and we'll be right back.
the product was actually introduced to me, I wanted to get on it. And that was the Gold Check account, guys. This has actually changed my business. So on the First National Bank app, you have the business toolkits that gives you all the information that you need to run your business, and whatever inquiries you have, they're always ready to answer. And that makes life very easy for me. And you have the in contacts that helps you access every transaction that takes place or happens. Now, point of sales terminal. I market wherever I go, and so I love to have that so I can take payment, especially with those who tell me I do not have cash. A bank that understands that you can start life all over again or start a business from scratch. Very keen on running it and making sure that you grow to the core. It's one you should look out for. My name is Jifa Bekre-Gray, the CEO of Jifa Gray Creations. I recommend that you sign up to the Gold Check account from First National Bank for a great banking experience.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Business Compass, and we're still talking with Hayat, and we're looking at her new brand of products, Smino. So tell us, Hayat, how did you fund it when you started? How much do you think you put into this? How much do you know you put into this?
I don't have an idea.
Let's try. Let's work back. So you went for training?
Yes.
Okay, so training cost. We'll compute all at the end.
Yes.
Then you
And then,
did some samples?
Yes.
How
I
much-
bought some products. I mean the raw materials. I bought raw
You bought raw
materials and
materials,
packaging.
okay.
Yes. And then I had to pay for my FDA certification,
FDA, okay.
business registration.
Business
and,
reg. Okay.
And then I had to do my the labels and then my logo.
Your packaging?
Yes.
Logo?
Yes.
Mhm.
I think
Packaging
those
as
were,
well?
Yes, I think those were the immediate
Initial cost.
cost.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you produced your first batch,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
gave it out for free, I'm sure.
I sold some,
Okay.
and then in fact all people were very gracious, because I remember giving to people and saying that, "Oh, this is my new product, I want you to try it and give me your feedback." And then they were like, "No, we want to pay for
That's
it."
nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had a lot of support in that
Okay.
aspect. Yeah, but I gave some out, and I still do give some out,
Okay.
because I'm
Well,
also
that's-
yeah.
I think Petra will talk about putting that on the marketing
Yes,
promotion. But
yes.
my thing is, so do you track all the expenses you've made since you started?
Mostly I
Mostly.
do, but not everything.
So how will you know when you've made a profit? Okay, before Frank comes in,
Yeah.
let me just remind you
Okay.
that the difference between a hobby and a business is that there is profit.
Yes.
You set this up to make money,
Of course. Yes.
so it's not a hobby.
I did my costing in terms of how much I'm buying the raw materials, how much I'm paying for my packaging and all that. So I do know the margin that I am making, which is a decent one. But I have not actually.
So you're producing at home.
Yes.
You're
I've not.
using
Yes. So I've
water?
not. Well, I separate.
Frank will have a lot to say about this. Frank, please speak to her.
Yes. So it's the starting point.
Yes.
At least you should know how much it has cost you to start a product. So you were mentioning your training
Yes.
and all those things. Those ones, your research costs. Those
Yes.
are your initial startup costs.
Right.
You didn't even talk about the place you produce the product.
Yeah, I had to. It's my outhouse, but I had to build on it, so I'll have like a production area and then an area to store my chemicals.
But you could have
as
done
well.
that and rented out the outhouse.
I could have.
You could have fixed up the outhouse and
and-
rented it out.
okay,
So
I haven't
it's
done that yet.
No, but so the thing is, the you could have done that and received rent on
Yes.
the outhouse.
Yes.
So if you are using that outhouse to produce, what you are foregoing is that rent.
The revenue from the
So that must be factored into your costing.
I
Why am I
haven't
even
done
doing
that.
Frank's work?
It's good. It's good. It's good. So in your initial startup cost, you should know, because as you go ahead and things like that, if someone says, "Hey, you owe me tax," and things like that, you should be
Yes.
able to defend yourself.
Tax.
That maybe the entity hasn't made profit yet, because
yeah.
my initial startup cost is this. This is my material cost. If I deduct all, I'm not supposed to pay taxes. So
Right.
until I become profitable, I'll pay my tax. Other than that, they'll just come and give you an assessment.
That's correct.
And
I
now
think
you are
that
struggling to
you've
pay.
hit something that will make Hayat keep her records well. That would work.
And two,
In fact, I got the books, and like I said, watching the previous episodes of Business Compass also was a guide for me. So I was
that's nice.
taking notes, and I have my books and all that. But I've not really sat down to. I've not been consistent. But I like you're saying, I know the things that I'm
you need
supposed to
to-
do, but I'm not being religious
Because
about it.
if you don't compute it properly and capture all your costs, then you are overestimating your profit,
That's correct.
which of course makes you liable to a higher tax, but also deludes you into thinking you're doing well when you
when
could
you
have
are
been
not
improving.
actually,
Yes.
yeah.
Or you could actually be shortchanging yourself.
Yeah.
Because you haven't quantified the value of time, efforts, intellectual property, all of the things that you've put into
Salary for
developing this
Hayat for doing
No,
this.
salary.
into developing this wonderful product. You haven't costed all of that. So you might actually be undercutting yourself by pricing at a particular level. So it really does help for you to quantify all of the things that go into it. Your time, your effort, your sleepless nights,
Employees.
A lot of that.
the emotional stress, everything, your creativity, you have to cost that. You have to put all of that together. So you place value on what you're selling, not just the price, but even the sense of how important this is to a customer. It comes from you going through that process.
But
of
you know what?
went
Let me
into
defend Hayat a bit. If she puts all that into it,
it. We come by.
exactly. How does she? Because if you read her vision, she says it's going to be affordable, even though organic, as in healthier than all the other options. So that affordability bit, if she's, I think I get her. When you put all this costing, especially your sleepless nights into it, no one can buy it. How does she make sure that it remains affordable?
But affordable
Yeah, so-
to who? She has to define who she's trying to be affordable to.
They're
Do you want
trapping
to
us with
be-
the market segmenting.
Do you want to be affordable to everyone? As in, do you want to be a mass market product that everybody can buy everywhere? Then there's a place for that. There's how you will cost it. Do you want to be affordable to a particular type of woman, a particular type of man, a particular type of family? Then you put that together. So it really is about who you decide your customer is. And when you're talking about how you started the business, it was a very interesting story because you went through a process that makes a lot of sense in a situation like this. It says, so we're in this big problem, but what can we do?
Right.
And most people who start a business, they're actually answering the question, what can I do? But what can I do for who?
Ooh.
And for how much?
That's so critical.
And what do I want to put into that whole process? So then you go through the process of specifically, I'm trying to find solutions for households. I'm trying to find solutions for women and children. I'm trying to find solutions for individuals who need to carry their soap around.
Yeah.
And so that's just the process. So it's very, very critical that at the beginning, you make the decision of who is my customer going to be. First of all, what problem do I want to solve? For who? How much? How am I going to get it to them?
But hold on, can you repeat that slowly? Let's say, what problem am I going to solve?
Yes.
For who?
For who? How much am I going to charge? How am I going to get it to them? So you think about your sales and distribution.
Okay. That really helps.
Yeah,
Does
and-
that make it better for you?
Yes, yes, very
And-
much.
And the other piece of it is that custom products is for decision making, right? So if you started and you realize that maybe my cost of inputs and things like that is high, then it informs the decision. Am I going for premium pricing and what market can afford that? Instead of because, oh, I need money to buy this, you spend your own money, you end up subsidizing people to take their
Is that
bath
what
or
you've
wash
been
their
doing?
hands. Because probably you are using your
I am
salaries to
using,
be...
I am using my savings and my salary and
So you are subsidizing people to bath.
Yeah.
And you are, business and emotions are different.
But you know, in
When you put like that,
I mean, that it's very serious. But you know, when you think about it that way, there's also a place for investing in the business
Yes.
in the medium to
Yes.
long term. You
Yes.
want to put in a lot of effort into it. But what we're saying is, you have to know how much you're
Yes.
putting into it. So if you go to maybe a hotel and they want to pay 50% of the price that you're offering it, you can actually say to them, I'm sorry, but no thanks. As much as I want this business, but it will be bad business.
Right.
That type of conversation. And then with your inputs, if you realize that your inputs are making you not affordable to the people you want to be affordable to, you begin to ask, are there alternatives? Can I use different inputs? What can I
yeah.
do? Can I cut down on some of the cost items, for instance, that are creating
I take out my sleepless nights.
possibly you know, so you go through all of those processes just so that it helps you make the right
but
choices.
can I ask
for
a
the
question
business.
to Frank and to Petra? I think we all start business and the aim is to make profit. But especially when it's something you're passionate about, it becomes more emotional than rational. Doesn't this process also help you get to the point where you know that my why may have been good, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make money?
Yes.
And so it may be time to give it up and go into a new business.
I think that's
venture.
where a lot
I'm
of
not saying that about Smino, I'm just saying.
yes, a lot of young entrepreneurs or startup entrepreneurs get
Even old
very-
entrepreneurs.
very attached to the business.
Yes.
And you mentioned that the difference between the hobby and the business is the profits.
Yes.
And there's a friend of mine who says that the only difference between your hobby and something that you're selling is the fact that you're making money. So
Money out
a hobby you don't really make much money out of. But I think the thing is, you have to take a step back and just ask yourself, is this commercially viable?
Yes.
And that's the
Such a
thing.
difficult
It's
question.
it's a very difficult question. And when you're passionate about something, you can go on and go on and go on, and you realize that
I think I've done things that,
I'm not.
it didn't
yes,
make sense.
Yes. So at the beginning, that's why you ask yourself, is somebody going to be willing to pay for this?
Right.
It can sound
And pay
very
the amount that makes it worthwhile.
worth it for me. Yes. And maybe not just now, but in the near future, is it going to make? And is it going to pay for itself? And I typically advise people who are engaged in not-for-profit situations, so NGO business, or they are supporting a cause, that still think about how is this venture going to pay for itself at
The
least.
sustainability.
Yes. So even if I don't want to make, it's not going to be about money, but how does it pay for itself? If I'm doing this for charity, can I at least cover the costs so that
Yeah.
I don't go back into my savings and create a situation where I'm now inconvenienced? So we are putting everything, the house is in the business, the
Yes.
children are in the business, everything
I
is
was
the
going to
business,
ask, are
and
your children
jeopardizing,
involved in the business?
One of them.
Does she get paid? She get paid?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so-
another cost.
And is that Smino
Let me-
herself?
No. Ironically, she's not.
She's not, but she
one
has
who's
a name on
yeah.
the business.
Yeah.
It's my
So-
second daughter who is more passionate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one principle is that, look,
I
as-
don't let the younger ones help because of the chemicals, but then yeah.
Yeah, at passion and business always align. So you could be passionate about something, and therefore the money that will come is a result of it. But what I'm saying is, people are saying it's my hobby, it's my dad. You are an entrepreneur. Your hobby is making money. That's a hobby. If you are an
I
entrepreneur,
love that.
that's your hobby. So all that you are doing, you are enjoying doing all that, but
The
ultimately
bottom line is the money.
is you make money. And if it's your hobby, you want to be doing it every day, and therefore it must be sustainable.
I think
And so you must manage your
we're going to
finances.
take a break on that note
Why?
with that reminder that if you're an entrepreneur, your hobby is making money, nothing else. Frank has put it very clearly. When we come back, we're going to be looking at your legal structure. We're going to look at how that aligns with what you're actually doing, and then we're going to look at how it ties in with your vision. And then if we have some time in that segment, we'll go into your strategy, which I think would address some of the business challenges you wanted us to look at. So viewers, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at this legal registration for Smino, the compliance issues, how that ties in with her vision, and how that ties in with all her strategic outlook. So stay with us, and when we come back, we'll continue this very interesting conversation. But remember, if you're an entrepreneur, you have only one hobby, according to Frank: making money. See you after the break.
Immediately the product was actually introduced to me, I wanted to get on it, and that was the Gold Check account, guys. This has actually changed my business. So on the First National Bank app, you have the business toolkits that gives you all the information that you need to run your business, and whatever enquiries you have, they're always ready to answer, and that makes life very easy for me. And you have the in contacts that helps you access every transaction that takes place or happens. Now, point of sales terminal, I market wherever I go, and so I love to have that so I can take payments, especially with those who tell me I do not have cash. A bank that understands that you can start life all over again or start a business from scratch. Very keen on running it and making sure that you grow to the core. It's one you should look out for. My name is Jifa Bekwe, the CEO of Jifa Gray Creations. I recommend that you sign up to the Gold Check account from First National Bank for a great banking experience.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Business Compass, and today we have Smino soap. Is it Smino Detergent?
Smino Detergent.
Smino Detergent. Okay, we're going to go into all that, and we're going to be looking at the legal issues and maybe some strategy. But if you're watching and you want to be on the show, please send a 1-minute video to our producer on her WhatsApp line 026 300 5055. Or if you have a business challenge, a question you want us to answer, send a WhatsApp video to that same line 026 300 5055, and we will get back to you. So, Hayat,
Yes, ma'am.
we've discussed your name. So it's Smino Detergent.
Yes.
But you're now
with
making
the soaps is Smino
soaps.
Naturals.
Okay, there's Smino Detergent and there's Smino
Naturals.
Naturals. So what's the company name?
Clean Break Company Limited.
It's a limited liability
Yes,
company.
please.
Okay, so where does Smino's Detergents and Smino Naturals, where do they fit in?
They are the brands.
How have you registered them?
it's under the company.
How is it registered under the company?
I have to check. I don't have it offhand, but then it's there. But I haven't done my trademark yet. I'm in the process of doing it. But the company name is Clean Break Company, but the products are Smino.
Okay, so the way that would work is that Clean Break is the limited liability entity.
Yes.
And you've registered this two as business names.
Yes, please. I don't. I think it's the trademark. I'm not sure, but I have to refer. But then that's the trademark, and I'm in the process of registering it as a trademark.
Okay.
Yes.
But you know you have to be sure.
Yes.
And you know why you have to be sure?
Yes.
Why?
Because I need to be sure that it's available for me.
Yeah, because the liability, if there's any issues, it's going to hit you.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's why
I checked that, and then we've started the process of registering the trademark.
the trademark is different from the...
The business name is Clean Break Company Limited.
Okay, so since it's a limited liability company, who is your company secretary?
That's all.
The law requires that you have a company secretary.
Yes.
The law requires that, and the company secretary has specific qualifications that you
Yes.
have. The law requires that you have two directors. Who are your
Yes.
two directors?
It's myself and then my partner.
His partner. How many board meetings have you had since June last year? Not over dinner at home.
None. In that case, it's none.
Because the company secretary was not there. Okay, so now the point is
Yes.
you've picked a legal structure that, in the sense of what you're doing, is good. And I'll tell you why. You are selling products that people are using. So there can be liability issues. And we
Right.
keep thinking these things won't happen in Ghana, but we're getting there.
Yes.
And they've started. So there can be liability issues. So you tell me, this is allergy free and I use it and I get an allergic
You
reaction,
react.
I could sue you. So it's good that you've used a vehicle that limits the liability
Right.
and protects your personal assets. What that means is that if I was suing, I'd be suing Clean Break Company Limited.
Yes, please.
And so I can only go after the assets of Clean Break Company Limited. I cannot come and take your house or your vehicle. So it's good. But that structure you've picked also comes with obligations.
Right.
And it's really important that you get familiar with those obligations and you are compliant. Because if you are not, you get hit with penalties and fines, and so you just keep racking up liabilities. So you must have a company secretary, you must have a minimum of 2 directors. I would suggest strongly that you get additional directors and don't see it as an expense. In these days of Zoom, you can have Zoom board meetings,
Right.
but when you have an independent person outside you and your partner, you see that it forces you to be better structured because you'd have to sit and take that person into consideration.
Take
So
account
if
the
for
person,
instance,
yeah.
Petra or Frank are directors in my business, I would have to structure meetings and speak to them. Oh, would this time work for you? The regularity, so they can also plan their schedules, and then they bring in knowledge that is not immediately available to you and is not expensive.
Okay.
And you're just a startup. You can find people within your circle of friends who are very encouraging, who would agree to be on your board. Part of it may be reviewing. Part of it may even be that you give them products as payment, and they also use and they give you feedback. So it doesn't have to be that expensive, but there's so many benefits you can get out of having that input. Seeing where you're going, I'd suggest a board of like 5.
5. Okay.
You and your partner and 3 others. So look at the kinds of skills that
Are required.
you need to grow the business to where you want to take the business to. You know, I clearly see branding and marketing. I think your packaging and all that could do with some work. Some strategy would help. And I don't know your partner's background and capacity, so think law, think finance, if you don't have those between both of you. But I mean, you're doing fantastic, but I think this would really help you, you know, step it up. And then you talk about your vision. You hope to become the preferred choice for affordable, organic, and effective household products as well as natural beauty care products within the next 3 to 5 years. It's all very hazy, isn't it, guys?
Yeah,
What's
all
preferred
over.
choice?
Yeah,
What's
preferred
that? What does that mean in terms of revenue? You see, to make a vision really work for you, you have to drill it down. So ask yourself, when I say I want to become the preferred choice, what does that mean? How many units of this do you want to sell to know you're the preferred choice? That forces you also to study the market. So if your competitors are selling, and that's back to Petra's market segmentation. If you can't say you're selling to everyone, because you're setting yourself up to compete with Unilever. You're not at that level. So decide where your market is. So if your competitors are selling 1,000 units a month, that tells you that you need to be doing way
Minimum
more than
of
that to
1,000.
know that you
Okay.
have achieved the goal of being the preferred choice. But if you put it in such hazy terms, preferred choice, within the next 3 to 5 years, that is so unclear. So start with the 5-year goal, and then you know that every year this is what I have to do to get there. And remember that as you're growing, others are growing, the competition is also growing. But you need to bring it down to is it going to look like in 4 years, in 3 years, in 2 years, and in 1 year. And then in the 1 year, you can
What
even
do I
do
need
quarterly
to do? Okay.
and then monthly goals. It
Okay.
forces you to be better structured. But this vision has to change, Hayat.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to make a quick comment on the
Okay.
logo.
Yes.
I noticed that you have really nice, very colorful. But one of the things about brand recognition is consistency.
Consistent. Yeah.
Every time we see Smino, we should see it in the same font, same color, same representation, so that
Okay.
the recall. So essentially, recall is when we see it, we know that's Smino. So we can walk into a shop and we know exactly what we're looking for. We just
Okay.
take it off the shelf.
Okay.
And in terms of recognition, in the midst of other brands, it's immediately identifiable. It stands out. Okay,
Yes.
so that's what a brand is. It distinguishes you from everybody else. So I noticed you have Smino, then you have the something like a pump here, and then this one has bubbles. And this one has
Another bubble
something
with
else.
something.
Okay.
So maybe you're trying to distinguish the different
The difference
products,
between
but
the
with the
products.
brand
Must be the
It
same.
should be
logo
the same.
must be consistent.
And even
yeah.
with your trust the process, it must be positioned at the same place.
Yeah.
You see, it's in different positions. It should be at the same position on every single product.
And the length of the pack, the packaging also has to be as much as
Consistent,
possible consistent.
Okay. Actually, this is for 1 liter. I didn't have the 1 liter label, so I just put the 5 liter. So this is for a different
Okay.
size.
Okay.
So that's why.
Okay. And
Yeah.
another thing, another reason why that's important is because then your customers can identify when it's not you and it's an imitation.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
So if it's consistent and it stands out, they
there's
know
a
that
difference, they
somebody
would
is
know.
trying to steal steal the brand or
Yeah.
copy the brand.
Down
No,
to
that's not
batch
it.
numbers,
Exactly.
expiry
Yeah.
dates, everything has to be the same.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So you also mentioned that in your vision that you want to be seen as an organic product.
Affordable.
So tell us what makes it organic in your sense, where your customers would understand what they have, the value they have.
Okay, so when I talk about organic, it's mainly for the skincare products. And
So the vision is only for the skincare.
no, when I use the word organic, I'm referring to the skincare.
I get you, but it's in your vision statement to make affordable, organic, and effective household products as well as natural beauty care. So you really have to aim at it covering everything you do.
Okay, so we need to look
Yes.
at that again.
And if it's
Yeah.
not realistic for everything, you can take it out.
Yes, yes. That then it wouldn't work for both products.
Yeah.
But when I say organic, it's because when you the ingredients that I use for the skincare products are things that, aside from the chemical that you use for instance, the soap, everything else is something that is edible or something that you can find in your kitchen.
Okay.
So that's what the sense that I am.
But that's a great
Okay.
marketing or branding I don't know, Petra.
So,
that should be.
let me, because you see, we see a lot organic. There are a lot of things we eat that's not organic.
Yes.
So you need to, in the international definition, they're just for learning purposes for viewers. In the international definitions, when they say organic, they want to be able to trace your product back to your supplier and how it was even planted, and whether in planting and the agric process for your thing, they use chemicals to spray and all those things. So it's a nice term that is out there nowadays, but there are responsibilities that comes to position yourself as organic.
Right. Are you ready to carry that burden? Or we can find another word that
we'll
actually
probably
describes
need to
what you're
find
doing
another
without
word.
that
Yeah.
burden.
We need to find another word because
what I see is like yours is like a healthier choice.
Yes.
And we can do that without using
Burdening
organic.
ourselves
Yes.
with,
And another important label you may want to adapt is the handmade.
Yes.
I see you've put handmade on
Yes.
most of them.
Yes.
That's a very powerful
Yeah, because those are
proposition.
actually
Yes.
handmade.
Yeah. And you mentioned the issue of everything in it is available in your kitchen. There's a lot of value that type of proposition offers to the customer.
Right.
We just have to find how to frame it properly to make it
sellable
and appealing. So handmade is important. Everywhere in the world, anything that is handmade is considered
It's
premium.
value.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
but
there's
then that
value
means that
in there we need to release.
yeah, that also means that probably you may not be that affordable as you put in your, because
The mission is going to change.
Handmade is never mass.
It's relative.
It's a
Affordable is
premium,
relative.
Yes.
it's a premium high end.
Because if I'm paying for something that is healthier, that is handmade, and that I know is less harmful to myself and my family, I should be willing to pay more if I'm buying something.
Right. Right.
And then there's also the part of the environmental sustainability that's also globally a trend that you want to take advantage of. That the ingredients are not harmful to the environment. If
That's correct.
If that's true, you should tell that story as well. So you mentioned that the things in your kitchen, so these are things that are edible, not necessarily harmful to the environment, can be put back into the environment. They are biodegradable, things like that.
Okay.
All of those stories make...
Petra, I like that, but I wanted us to look at those issues in the context of her challenges.
Okay.
And also the fact that I think that strategy-wise, if we're going, and I think that's where she should be going actually, shouldn't that story be consistent even with the packaging?
Yes.
But she's telling us she has a problem with finding packaging material. So I wanted to tie that whole environmentally friendly, the whole green thing to the not just the product.
By the packaging as
Yes,
well.
because if that's the brand, that it is green, it is healthy, it is environmentally friendly, then your packaging needs to be environmentally friendly.
As well.
I'm not quite seeing that.
Heavy plastic.
maybe we should take a break. And when we come back, we look at your challenges, which really, and one of the main ones you told us was finding affordable packaging materials, delivery costs, and your inability to meet increasing demand. I think those are the main ones. The other two we will take off screen with you, but we don't think they are major issues. But those three tie in with what we're describing, and I know Petra will tie it to your marketing channels, the online presence and all that. When we come back, it's going to be Petra's segment really, because it's going to be a lot of making sure that the products and the packaging are aligned, and also aligned with the vision, and then aligned with the marketing strategy, and Frank, possibly aligned with the overall financial strategy and pricing. So it all kind of ties in, but you're in a good place actually. Don't feel bad, don't look like that, you're in a good place. I think it's just what you're doing different things, and we're just trying to
put them together,
put it together and release the value, the true value in what you're doing. It may be time for to listen to Coach Bell and calm Hayat down a bit. So we'll take a break. We'll go to Coach's Corner, and when we come back, we will try and tie all this together nicely. So please stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Coach's Corner on Business Compass. I am Coach Bell. Tonight we're going to talk about how to keep a healthy relationship between you and your customers. So how do you do it? First, your customers are the heartbeat of your business. They are your best alert to knowing whether your business is doing well or bad. So you must make it a point to listen to your customers attentively, satisfy their needs, exceed their expectations, keep them happy always, and you will have a long, healthy heartbeat that will keep your business alive. Second, a happy and satisfied customer will guarantee you referrals and new businesses, but a disgruntled, unsatisfied, and angry customer will send your business heartbeat flatlining. And that is a recipe for disaster. Your business will not only end up in intensive care unit, it could sadly die. So do not forget that the customer is king. And never forget that the customer is always right. So that is how you keep a healthy relationship between you and your customers. Let me recap. There is only one boss, and that is the customer. See you next week.
Welcome back from Coach's Corner, and we're still talking with Hayat of Smino. And Hayat has taken us on a journey of how she started, and we're kind of trying to tie together. So you're making fantastic products that are healthier, not just for the skin, but for the home. You're using fewer harmful chemicals, is environmentally friendly.
Right.
So now we need to make sure that you sit and recraft your vision, so that your vision really reflects all these good things that you're doing that is not actually captured in your vision.
Okay.
Because you're just talking about affordable organic, but we think that there's so much more here.
Right.
And then we've talked about the consistency of the brand. We know that you're going to deal with that. But now let's look at packaging. You say that finding affordable packaging is a challenge for you in the
Yeah,
market.
especially for because these I've bought locally, and then by the time I advertised it, and then I was getting
There was demand,
orders.
yeah.
She started from a certain number that she had. The next thing I knew, she said, "Oh, this is what I have." By the time I made an order, what I got was, and then I couldn't even find it anywhere else on the market. So I had to look outside of Ghana for it. And then sometimes, if let's say you want to do even a body scrub, and then you'll see a container that you like, by the time you go in and you want to order, the price will make, either the price is making your product too expensive, or they don't even have the numbers and that I need. And then I want to be consistent, because I don't want to have it today in this and tomorrow in that. So
have you looked locally? There are no local options that work, and that may be environmentally friendly.
I try to get the coconut, the coconut husks to put in, but somebody else is using that. So I wasn't sure I wanted to do something that another person was using.
You couldn't do yours differently, because that's very environmentally friendly.
Yes, I like that concept. So maybe I'll have to revisit that. But these has been some of the, issues that I'm saddled with.
I know it's a marketing thing, but I was really going to ask. So if, would this work? Not the final solution, but still thinking environmentally friendly. If you encourage your customers to return the used ones and get new products at a discounted rate, because that at least lowers the cost of.
That's a very, very good idea. I haven't noticed a lot of companies doing it locally. It's something that goes on abroad quite well. Even carrier bags. You buy your own carrier bags, go to a particular departmental shop, and you get like points for that.
Yeah,
for
you can
helping.
even tell us to bring our own.
So so that's something that you can do. You can bring your bottles back for a refill.
With those few points of Petra, I'm convinced beyond doubt that your truck should be the vision truck and not the profit one. Yes.
Machine is here.
So you're going to get this. And it's really because we think you've got a fantastic range of products. It's incredible what you've managed to do between June and now. But you are you're losing the vision. So you need to go back there, like Petra was saying, and remember that the vision is what determines the destination. So when you have your eye on that destination, then now you can determine, okay, I'm going to Kumasi. Should I go through this route or should I go through this route? And in deciding the route,